welcome back to the Body for Minds podcast. Have you noticed the sudden rise of the tradwife trend? Social media is full of women showcasing an idealized version of staying at home, baking bread, and embracing traditional roles. But is this really the answer for modern mothers, or is it a cleverly packaged illusion? In today's episode, I'm unpacking the hidden costs of this trend, why it's so appealing and why it may be far more dangerous for ambitious mums than it looks. So stay with me, because this is a conversation that might just challenge the way you think about work, motherhood, and your future. As a coach for mothers, I cannot help but comment on the tradwife trend. And here's why. It falsely lures mothers into a romanticized version of stereotypical gender roles and away from the workplace. And let's be honest, most of these so-called tradwives aren't really what they claim. They market their lifestyle online, build a brand, and earn an income from it. That's not being a true stay-at-home mom. That's building a business. And I get it. It can be so appealing to dream of a simpler life, a life with seemingly fewer demands on your time and energy, a life where you don't have to constantly negotiate who does what with your partner. Traditional gender roles can feel easier because at least the rules are clear. That clarity can eliminate conflict and frustration, at least on the surface. And I want to be clear, I'm not against staying at home. I've done so myself repeatedly, but it needs to be a conscious choice, because unless you're monetizing the tradwife image online, staying at home comes with trade-offs. You will not get paid. You won't be contributing to your pension fund or healthcare. You rely on your partner to do so, and your career progression will stall and your future earning potential will shrink. That's the reality, even though it's unfair, because of course you acquire new skills as a stay-at-home mum and you contribute to maintaining society, of course. But as of now, these skills and contributions are simply not valued in the world, professionally or otherwise, despite dwindling birth rates in Western countries. And even if you decide to take a temporary break, you need to prepare yourself, because inevitably you will take on more of the household chores and care duties than you did when you were in paid work. And once those roles solidify, it's not so easy to rebalance them later. Gender stereotypes creep in quickly, and once they take root in a household, they're harder to dismantle. And then there's the example we set for our children. Not just for our daughters, but for our sons too. Their expectations, their future partnerships, their ambitions. The more women retreat from the workforce, the less chance we have of changing the systems and structures that make combining work and family so hard. Right now in the US, we are seeing more women drop out of the workforce post-pandemic, especially as corporations tighten flexibility around where and when we work. The more we retreat, the less change is possible. I know, motherhood can be exhausting, even without a career. But a career can light you up and make you a better mother, provided the conditions are right. And if you're listening to this podcast, I know you have ambition. Staying at home full-time may fulfill you for a while. But sooner or later, two things can happen. Either you try to re-enter paid work and face barriers and setbacks, or you stay home and make your children and your household your project. And when that happens, the pressure rises. To optimize everything, to perfect yourself, to become the perfect mom. That's an enormous burden, not only on you, but on your kids. This is why at Body for Minds, my work is never about self-optimization. It's about reconnecting with yourself, with your values, with who you are as a whole person beyond motherhood. It's about appreciating the parts of you love, but also acknowledging the parts you'd rather not have, because being connected with yourself, being grounded and present, is what allows you to navigate the complexity of modern life. It helps you reduce the noise and find your own truth, rather than falling for a fantasy version of the past that others are selling as a lifestyle. And here's the bottom line. If you truly reconnect with yourself, if you've experienced a more traditional division of labor and genuinely find that it fulfills you, that's your truth. And I will never dispute that. But I will tell you this. Someone who truly thrives in that setup doesn't need to convince others of it online. They're too busy living a full life, living their life, not selling it. This is a conversation I know stirs strong feelings, and that's a good thing. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What comes up for you when you see or hear about the tradwife trend? Do you feel the appeal, the pressure, or maybe both? Share your reflections with me by leaving a comment where you listen to this podcast, or send me a message directly on Instagram at bodyful_minds. Let's keep the discussion going, because the more openly we talk about these choices and challenges, the closer we come to creating systems and lives that truly support ambitious mothers. I'm curious to hear what you have to say. Until next time.